Good morning, everyone. I hope you are doing well. Today, we are going to present our labor law project focused on union immunity. This topic is regulated by Article 406 of the Colombian Labor Code, which establishes special protection for union leaders and members.
Legal framework for trade union in Colombia. Good morning, everyone. Today I am going to talk about the legal framework for trade union in Colombia. First, democratic organization. It establishes that union must be democratic and free. Second, definition of unions. They are free and democratic organization of workers. Third, prohibition of discrimination. This protects workers from anti-union discrimination. And finally, freedom of association. This ensures the right of workers to freely join unions. The first pillars in freedom of association. This means the right to form and join union without interference. The second pillar is union autonomy. This is the ability of unions to operate independently. The third pillar is protection against discrimination. It's guaranteed no discrimination based on union affiliation. Types of trade unions. Final. Let's see these types of trade unions. First, economic activity unions. These unions represent workers in a broad economic activity. Second, professional unions. These represent workers in a specific profession. Third, company unions. These are formed by workers of single company. And for industry and unions, they represent workers in a specific industry.
Slide 4. This slide explains the structure of unions in Colombia. It shows the rules for dissolving a union and define what a union is, guaranteeing freedom of association and protection against discrimination. It also explains how unions are classified and the criteria for membership. The slide describes the process of creating a union, its status, and the main functions and provisions do ensure transparency. Finally, it regulates the use of union funds and protects union leaders against unfair dismissal. Slide 5. This slide talks about union protection, also known as union immunity. Union leaders and members have special protection against dismissals or sanctions while they are carrying out their responsibilities. The reason for these rules is to guarantee independence and freedom in union activities, so that working can organize with your fear of losing their jobs. If an employer wants to dismiss a union leader, it is not enough to just decide entirely. The law requires that the employer first obtain authorization from the labor authority. This prevents arbitrary or unfair decisions that could weaken union organizations. Slide 6. This slide explains what happens if an employer violates union protections. If a union leader or member is dismissed or punished without a justified cause, the employer faces legal consequences. This sanction can include fines or legal action, and most importantly, the obligation to reinstate the worker in their job positions. This rule sends a clear message. Union rights must be respected, and any attempt to weaken or retaliate against union representative is considered illegal.
International Organization and Power of General Assembly. Modality studies. Merger with other unions. Join or wither from federation or confederation. Elect remove director. Expensel members. Approx bur significant expenses. approved definition and approved negotiation. But the strike dissolve of the liquidate the union. Conflict resolution in Colombia strike. Called suspension of work by workers. Arbitration. An arbitration might a lighting decision, direct negotiation, discussion between employees and workers, mediation, a blow party help parties find some in common. Union in moving for the censure or discussion, union members with authorization. On the style, diminution or cessation, union member and requisite restatement. Unions can negotiation in defense or trade member.
The union jurisdiction requests in writing or verbally from your employer or boss for immediate refund your position with the same working condition and salary if you are dismissed without just cause. If the employer denies the request, contact the labor inspector and an investigation will be initiated. If the response you receive from the labor inspector is not favorable, go before a labor judge in your municipality or where the company where you work is located. Let's talk about the strike. It is a worker right to defend their interests and it must be exercised peacefully after having failed in a negotiation. After exhausting negotiation, the strike must be declared by the assembly and a list of petitions must be present. It must be approved by both and the employee must be notified. Work must be temporarily suspended. The employee cannot retire. Worker on strike and protest again after dismissal. The strike and be an agreement of both parties. Conclusion. Collective labor law. It focuses on freedom of association and the possibility for workers to organize to improve their working conditions. Collective bargaining. Unions have the right to negotiate. Strike. Workers have the right to strike as a last resort if they can't reach an agreement.